I'm diving into a deep topic around, for those who want to leave corporate or considering leaving corporate, or maybe you've actually just left or recently left to pursue entrepreneurship. And we're going to dive into the inner work that is required to complete your transformation, your transition, your transformation from, the employee mindset, the employee programming, right, to adopt the mindset of an entrepreneur. So we're going to dive into that today. So greetings, everyone joining. I see Monica Woods. Greetings. Thank you for being here. You're going to enjoy this one. So let me say this. Success. Hey, good morning. Good morning. Yes, thank you. Where are you joining from? Where are you joining from? I know we have a global audience, so feel free to type. And then we also have audio going. Those who want to come up to the stage, maybe ask a question or even video, you want to ask a question, you can use the chat space. Let's make this interactive. Usually, I like this type of interactive live session because definitely I do have a TV show as well where we go into the studio, I host audience, I interview them, and then I just bring the video out to you. But I do greatly appreciate this live engagement, live interaction. So engage, connect, right, and then share this as well. So don't just be a passive listener. This is about you. I'm sure the questions you ask will make it more enriching for others listening as well. So we want to go into practical. Okay, we want to go deeper into practical. There's a lot of fantasy conversations that many people engage in, right? Oh, I'm going to do this and then I'll do that and then we'll do this. I get it. We're all dreamers and let's dream. Please dream big. But in the practical side of life, business is about life, right? You do business the way you do life. You realize that it's 100% inner work. Business, okay, success in business is 100% inner work. Trust me. Because when you attempt to reach out, when you attempt to achieve, what will help you achieve is the work you've done on yourself. What will limit you from achieve is the work you've not done on yourself. Again, let me repeat that. We're going to try and go slow today. Like, I'll pace myself. When you want to go out there and achieve and do and become, what will help you become successful at whatever goal or mission you have for your life will be 100% dependent on yourself, the inner you, your belief system, your mindset, your skill set. And what will also stop you from becoming is also everything you've not done on you, the version of you. It's either that version is helping you succeed or the version is limiting you from succeeding. Okay? You are the most important factor in your own journey. In fact, you're the only factor. Let's not even most important. You are the only factor that matters to your life. Everybody else comes around to support you, to help you fulfill your dreams, your hopes, your aspirations. It's about you. What do you want out of your life? What do you want to achieve? What do you want to pursue? And making sure you are equipped, you equip yourself to achieve it. And one of the things that tend to happen a whole lot is fear. And what fear means is different for everybody. It's different for different people. What you're afraid of, okay, what's limiting you, it's different. But let's just agree that one way or the other, whenever you want to take a step or do something, whatever voices you're hearing in your head or whatever emotion stirs up within you, that's your fear speaking. Oh, what would they say? Oh, money, oh, this. It's different for everybody, but I'm telling you, anytime you take a step forward or anytime you reach out to attempt to do something, whatever you hear, however you're feeling, whatever emotions, okay, or whatever thoughts and whatever emotions, your feelings and thoughts, whatever those things are, guys, those are the things you must tear down. Okay, again, it's different for everybody because nature, nurture, culture is different. Who raised you, who programmed you, where you exposed yourself, limiting beliefs, imposter syndrome, right? Lack of confidence, lack of skills, oh, these, whatever those stories. I've heard a lot of, so this is why I write a lot. Oh, Monica is joining from Chicago. Greetings, you're right here. I'm in the western suburbs, so definitely we're in the same zone. Thank you for joining. That's why I always love people, typing and letting us know where they're joining from. You never know who is in the house. I also see Miss Andrea joining on Clubhouse. Feel free to join the stage if you would like to share. Others would definitely enjoy hearing your story and learning from you as well. This is not just about me. We're together in this. Okay? Let me take a moment to introduce myself because sometimes I assume that most of the people joining you've been following me for a while. But my name is Toyin Umesiri. I'm the author of Mindset of an Entrepreneur, Strategy, Skills, and Mindset for Achieving Business Growth and Success. I am also the founder of the Entrepreneurs Academy. And in the world of international trade, I host events, government stakeholders. So whether you're building a business here in the US or you're looking to take it internationally, the programs, classes, courses, platforms that we run, they're here to help you achieve it faster. So we help our clients and customers accelerate their journey to business growth and success. Okay. I'm also a spiritual mentor. So I'm faith based. On Sundays, you find me in church doing some things. But everything is blended because part of why I go through this inner work with my clients and students, because if you want to get to the highest levels of success for your life, you have to you have to mature many sides of you, your mental, right? Mental strength. You have to develop mental strength, self-control, self-discipline. You have to guard, you have to guard your heart, your place of emotion, because there are emotions that will help you feel empowered for success. And there are some emotions that will disempower you, will make you so weak. Okay. So that inner work, right? And I'll go through some of those things today. So there's emotion that, listen, if you spend time with me, this is what we do in my school. Anytime you spend with me, my job is to make you have a sense of possibility. You will leave every session feeling empowered. Okay? You will feel more powerful, more enlightened. You open yourself up to a sense of possibility. So let me tell you, yes, there's a space for that. And you need to be investing more in those spaces that will make you empowered. And I'm also saying, and I'm going to say, there are some places, the longer you stay, listen, the more you feel weak. You leave it confused, lost, depressed. These things are real. Invest less in those spaces. There's some information that I call useful information. There's some information I say it's useless. And trust me, the human mind functions as a digestive system. When you sleep at night, everything you consume that expose your human mind to, your brain will filter some out and will keep what is useful, just like the human digestive system. You eat food. Guess what? The system will do its thing. It will extract nutrients that is beneficial to the body, and the rest goes to waste. And that's why you are being told, eat nutritious food, eat organic, don't eat toxic food. You would mess up your own life. The same is true mindset. You will have more fear if you keep having conversations with people that are toxic. Can we agree on that? There are some people you will talk to about your intentions to pursue entrepreneurship, they will leave you hopeless. And there's some people, there are not much of them, not much of us, that when you bring big dreams, what God is telling you to birth, on and on, we will say, yes, it's possible, go for it. How can we support you? And you will go, yes. Spend more time in those spaces that empower you. Spend less time in the places that disempower you. Can we agree there? That's the baseline. Can we agree? Can we agree on that one? Andrea, feel free to use the chat space and say we agree. Do you agree that you need to be deciding where you expose your mind to? Because some thoughts, some ideas will burst your bubbles, some will motivate you and challenge you to higher. Okay? Part of what is also happening is that identity must change. Okay, let me break down 3 identities in the world of business that I just want to create awareness for you so that you know where you are in that transition process, because many people don't complete their transition, and so that's why they return to the previous version of themselves. Okay, we know the employee identity. The employee identity is what we've been sold from the day you started kindergarten. Trust me, the entire education system is designed to manufacture and create the ideal employee that will serve the right enterprise. It was designed for the industrial era. The industries need highly skilled, able skills to power itself. And the education system, right, from beginning to the very first time you get a degree, the first 20 years of everybody's life, everybody that went through a Western civilized, if you went to school in a Western civilized society, right, the education is regulated by your government. You have to learn ABCD 1 2 3 to be a functioning member of a society, and then you develop skills to be a contributing member of a society. And the skill that you acquired allows you to trade that in for an employer, and the employer gives you a livelihood, a salary. So for 20 years, at least 20 years, more than that, but I'll just say, let's stay conservative. For 20 years, from kindergarten to your first degree, your BSc, everything you are exposed to, the way you're taught, right, the discipline, the practice, the management, right, is developing your IQ so that you can perform specific tasks. That's why they say, you want to be a lawyer? Do you want to be an accountant? Do you want to be right? All of that. And based on what you pick, right, the curriculum, the path, the learning path, you have to then go on a learning path. So whether for 4 years or whatever years that is required, now you start learning, reading books, taking classes, right? They are nurturing you, they are programming you. Okay? And so that is an identity. The day you get your first degree, immediately your mind that has been programmed, you say, I need an employer. I'm looking for a job. You don't go, I need to start a company. You don't go, I want to be an entrepreneur. That's not the natural progression. Even if you have an MBA, you still have to take your degree into an existing organization to management, right? Business management. So that is a programming. And based on that programming, an identity has been molded. Very, very strong. Sit down, do what you're being told to do. You will get an A. Listen, all you have to do to be the teacher's favorite student, memorize, learn whatever the teacher is telling you, and on exam day, give it back to him or her. You will get A. I mean, you will pass that exam. It's a programming. It's a programming where you are not being told to lead yourself. You are being told to wait that other people will lead you. Other people will tell what is expected of you. Other people will use your skills. Other people will guide you. Other people will do stuff for you. So in a way, you are programmed to be dependent on the leadership of other people. You take that programming, you take it into the workplace. The workplace adds on more programming. You develop experience. right? The employer-employee relationship begins. You start a relationship, my boss is this, my co-worker is that. Oh, that is a life. It's a life. It's a life, right? It's a real life. It becomes a comfortable life. It becomes a joyful life. Absolutely fantastic. Fantastic. Listen, it's a level of success that most people in the world will not achieve. So if you've achieved it, congratulations. You worked hard for it. It's the height of success for many people in the world. And I'm saying you worked hard. Every success you achieve in that dimension, listen, you worked hard for it and you deserve all the rewards. Fantastic. Now, what then happens? This happens to most people, but not everybody yields the call. And this is where fear comes in, fear of the unknown. Is that programming is strong. However, in each one of us is something even stronger that is internal. Because the programming that the society and nurturing gives you is externally, right? External performance. You perform for everybody and you'll be rewarded by them. Okay? You're groomed to perform for culture, perform for nurturing, perform for employer, perform for everybody. Based on your ability to perform and show up as expected of you, your reward will come. What then happens is that there's the inner side of us, the soul level, your heart, your spirit, your soul. He's wanting you to perform for it as well. But most time we don't quiet ourselves for that because we are externally programmed and not internally driven. Your performance is focused on external validations, external rewards. Nothing wrong with that. It's level of success. And so when we talk about self-actualization, so at the base, you are now surviving, right? You've been programmed to survive, to do well. You're successful at that level. Nothing wrong. You're satisfied. If you're satisfied completely, you settle there. You live the rest of your life. You're fantastic. It's a level of success. However, at the soul level is where self-actualization is crying, right? The soul came here also to express itself. Now, let me say this. Some people, let's say nurturing at the parental level, there are certain parents that maybe they identify the soul level assignment in their children at an early stage and they set their kids on a path that is not the traditional education system, but is a path that helps the child develop creativity, right? Self-expression sooner. You see this more in the acting space, in the movie industry, in the arts craft space. When you think about Beyonce's, or right, the Beyonce's of the world, or the Williams sisters of the world, when you see that certain parental guidance, they saw something in their kids. Instead of putting their kids through the traditional path, you see them isolate the kids and put them on a learning path to develop what's inside that child. You also experience that certain people that achieve extreme success in business, they were on that path and then they dropped out of Harvard. There was something that happened where they evaluated the learning path of the traditional education and what their soul was and their vision was, and they saw there was a fork in the road. If they continue on the traditional path, they become an employee, but the ideas, hopes, and dreams within them is crying for expression as a business owner, as a business executive, as an entrepreneur. And they had to make a decision. Should I finish my degree and get this almighty certificate that everybody keeps touting that will help me get a job? Or do I pursue the self-expression of my soul, what I believe in, what I am seeing for myself? Everybody has to come to that right? That decision point. Some people, their parents will help them see it very early on. 8-year-old, 7-year-old. You see this guy, this lady singing, dancing, expressing natural talents, natural giftings that, listen, it's from heaven. And you're saying, do we train them at that skill level? Do we invest in them? Do we hire for them coaches, voice coach? Do we develop that spirit, that inner, right? That inner gift? Do we invest in that skill, or do we program them and send them to school so that the society will take them to become job seekers? There are also other people, you will have to go on that path and something one day will click for you. And then you have to start asking yourself, is this it? Or is that something else? And if you don't quiet yourself, that's why I said this is 100% inner work. Nobody can do this for you externally. The best thing external can do for you is what you're getting right now. This is your own gift to your own soul. This is where fulfillment comes in. So that when you are at a certain age, you say, I gave my soul what it came here to do. Many people never get it because it's risky, there's fear, there's all kinds of things. And it's 100% based on investing in that inner skill, inner talent, inner idea that is bubbling within us. So, some parents will do it for their kids younger. If they don't identify it, you go on this learning path, right? And the learning path quiets your soul, and the voices, external voices, become stronger. Let me stop there. I just want to give people, okay, I see chats. Andrea says, agreed, 100%. Okay, good. You can always come to the stage. Oh, Chisholm is here. Let's bring people up to the stage if you want to engage. Again, the interaction here is what makes this deeply enriching as well. So when you think about, again, some parents will invest in the talents of their kids and nurture that and give them everything they need, discipline, voice coaching, whether it's, if you're an actor, they take you through a different type of skill, on and training on and on, right? Or you finish the process, you spend 20 years, you become the perfect employee. Monica says, yes, awesome. Thank you. You're here. Okay, good. Welcome, Chisholm. How are you enjoying this discussion?
I just joined not too long ago because I was looking to figure out how to get that on the network, but I kind of figured Clubhouse would be a lot easier. So
fantastic.
I'm listening in and learning.
Awesome, awesome. So it's this inner work. That's why I'm saying, like, success in this space has to do with inner work. What will help you achieve success will be based on what's going on within us. Excuse me. And what I have found that stops people from moving forward is also lack of that inner work. Okay. So I was also sharing that there are certain parents that start investing in their kids at a very early age. They identify the talent, the unique skills, the unique gifts that God gave the child, and they nurture it and invest in it. They put them through a certain type of training, and then you see these kids 20 years later, because they spent 20 years investing in their skill, 20 years later, they're on top of the world. We, on the other hand, spend that 20 years being programmed, and coming out of our own programming, we become the perfect employee, and nothing wrong with that. We excel because truly we are trained IQ, we're smart, intelligent, brilliant, absolutely fearless. You go in there, you perform, you show your employer, they reward you. Success. Now, this conversation is now for those who have achieved that level of success, but then there's still something, you still feel something tugging in your heart. Now, it's not external, now it's your heart. Particularly in 2020, many people quieted because of the external disruption. Okay. That programming was disrupted, that perfect world. When the pandemic happened, now you had to sit with yourself, sit at home, get off that, wheel. And for the first time, for many people ever, they sat with themselves, sat with their family, evaluated their environment, and some said, you know what? Maybe there's something else out there. And you know the quest, the number one quest of the human soul is freedom, freedom of expression. And that is the one thing most people have been robbed of. The programming robs you of freedom of expression. The one thing your soul is crying for is to express itself, to be free, to speak, to create, right? Because creation is an expression, right, of the soul. Those who paint, those who create, they know this. An architect also practices this discipline. You see something in your mind, your heart loves it. Now you want to draw it, you want to express it, you want the world to see what you saw. That is creativity. Because until you create what you saw in your mind, we can't see it, guys. We cannot see what is in your heart. We cannot see what is in your mind. You are just dreaming by yourself. But when you show us who you are and how you think by your creation, by your expression, then we can say, wow, we are enjoying you. That's when the world starts enjoying what you came here with. But the process, listen, is painful because it's an inner work. So there's the identity of the employee. It's shaped through specific conditioning. There's now the identity of the entrepreneur. It's a different version, and I often say it's the lion in the zoo that has been domesticated, now released into the wild. Now you have to develop new survival skills that is more authentic to your DNA. Freedom. Okay? The human soul, listen, always is thirsty for freedom of expression. But not everybody is trained, programmed, given the opportunity to be freely expressive, or trained to even express and demonstrate their capacity to the fullest. The employee needs you to perform a job. They're not looking for you to come and disrupt the company with all of your amazing dreaming life. But the entrepreneur, your full-time job is to express, to explode upon the earth your inner convictions, your intentions. You assert yourself, you assert your thoughts, assert your hopes. I'm here telling you what I'm thinking. I'm telling you what I've experienced, what I've seen, what I've observed, and I'm sharing it with you. And I'm saying, have you seen it too? And I'm creating awareness for you if you haven't seen it. I'm asserting myself. I'm asserting my thoughts. I'm expressing myself freely, unhindered. You want that too. Do it. It's the gift you give yourself. Do it unafraid. Okay? You have to do it unafraid. Listen, this is the number one thing that will bring fulfillment to your heart and soul. When you say what you mean and mean what you say, and when you are contributing meaningfully to your society, to your world, and you feel rewarded for your work. 100%, that's all we are all striving for. Tell me if that's not what you want. Unhindered in your mind, free to dream and hope, and believing that you can become all that you want to become. So there's the employee identity, there's the entrepreneur's identity, which I say is the highest, fullest expression of human creativity, right? It's your freedom, the free thinker, the free mind, the free heart that is able to hold an idea, believe in an idea, express the idea, build the idea, create, manifest, present, sell freely, without any type of, oh, this, oh, that. No, when you do this work, you will free yourself, you attain freedom of expression, freedom of your soul to be all you can be in the world. There's also the identity, which is more nuanced when I do my training, my business training in the school, is more of me also seeing that many people do not become a business owner. So they don't transition from entrepreneurship to business owner. If you don't build a business that is an asset, that have equity, that can continue to run without you, some people become perpetually like entrepreneurs, chasing opportunities, chasing people, chasing the sale, chasing, instead of building a system that is attractive. But that is a type of business training that I deliver at the Entrepreneurs Academy. But today, let's just focus on employee to entrepreneur transition or transformation. Let me open it for any type of question. Do you have any question, or or should I keep going? Chisholm?
I think you should keep going because the mindset work is mostly it's an inner work until one cracks that is almost like you have the chick in the shell until the chick inside cracks that internally, then we can you get the full expression of what you're meant to be. Nothing anyone does on the outside would help because that would simply cause it's going to be disastrous for the chick inside. So that has to be that inner work every individual has to do for themselves. And once you get to that point that you break free of whatever that is that's holding one back and the limiting mindset, because that's what this is about, is just coming to terms with, okay, what is holding me back? What's stopping me? And when we see that for what it is it fear? Is it what others think? Is whatever it might be individually, because that's what you're trying to express to everyone who is listening. Once each individual comes to terms with that and you break free of the limiting beliefs, then you're ready for the next step of building and engaging with the gifts and talents that one has. That's my
Absolutely. Absolutely. And this is, yes, yes. Oh, wow. And this is why, honestly, until we sit with ourselves, and you talked about this question of what's stopping me, you actually have to confront your fears. You have to name them. You have to identify them, name them, confront them. Because even in the world of business, we talk about risk management. Is that if you think something is going to happen, your job is not to just come up with a story that and say, oh, I'm not going to do anything because I think this is going to happen. Your job is actually to come up with a strategy to mitigate the risk. But many people also do not even have the skill to create a strategy to lower and minimize the risk. So, as example, part of a strategy, which is what I encourage people to do, and this is why the school exists, is learning is a strategy for mitigating the risk of fear. People don't know that one of the ways of just eliminating fear is to learn. Is to learn at the feet of those who have done what it is you're trying to do. Fear will just, it will go from 100% to, it will drastically come down. So when you say you're afraid and you know what they are, what are you afraid of? Name them, write them down. You soon realize that you can begin to eliminate fear when you start learning what other people have done. When you realize you're not alone and you're not the first person to navigate. But so when you don't become a student and you're not learning, you put yourself in a bubble. Lack of knowledge breeds fear. Lack of experience, listen, fear will be heightened, right? If I give you a plane, let's say a pilot is flying a plane and then he brings you and say, here's the plane, fly it, you will sweat, you will be nervous, you will be stressed because you don't know what you're doing. When you don't know what you're doing, fear is heightened, but an experienced pilot with knowledge and skill will handle the situation firmly without fear. Fear goes away when you gain experience. Fear disappears when you become. So anytime something is going up, think about what do I need to know I don't know? What do I need to learn I need to? What don't I know that I need to know? What do I need to learn? That's a strategy for addressing fear right there. Anytime you are afraid, it's because shadows are being cast on you. Right? Something disaster, you are believing something bad will happen. It hasn't happened. Your job is to make sure it doesn't happen so that you gain strength, that you overcome whatever those things are. That's why I talk about anxiety and procrastination. Those who procrastinate will tend to be more anxious because the moment you start taking the right action, anxiety goes down. And as long as you keep saying tomorrow, 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 the because you've not done anything about the red flag that your soul is raising, because you've not taken action to mitigate, to lower the risk, the noise just gets louder. You get more nervous, you get more fearful. But once you start taking action, you start learning, you start listening, you start showing up to classes, you start, you know, doing things that will help you, you realize that you start gaining more confidence. You start telling yourself, we can do this, we can do this, we got this, we got this, we got this. Don't worry, I'm growing, I'm growing, I'm growing, I'm getting better, I'm strengthening my muscles, I'm increasing the knowledge. Yes, 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 yes. Once you start taking those actions and you get bigger, 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 you realize that this fear goes away. And when you do nothing, the fear it just gets bigger. It just magnifies itself because you haven't taken action, right? And so action is an expression of emotion. Those who are afraid will procrastinate. If you carry fear emotion, you cannot work, you cannot create. Because creativity comes out of a peaceful mind, calm rest. That's when you can think and dream and solve problems and solve and create. So think about it. Fear emotion is also what leads to procrastination. And so it's a cycle, guys. Fear leads to procrastination. Procrastination leads to more fear. Fear leads to procrastination. Procrastination leads to more fear. If you don't break that cycle by start taking action, by stepping forward anyway, by learning anyway, by reading, by attending classes, by following people who know what they're doing, that is one way of lowering fear. Action, right? Acting in accordance in a way that will build strength and capacity for you. Okay. And so when you want to go from employee mindset to entrepreneur's mindset, you need to start learning what it takes to win as an entrepreneur. And so a lot of it is inner work. So when you hear people like us and we say, invest in yourself, invest in yourself. Do you know many people don't people maybe you've heard it too much now, you don't even understand what it means. Do the inner work. That's what it means. Strengthen yourself, strengthen your capacity, acquire knowledge, develop skills, right? Acquire knowledge, develop skills that will enable you to do what it is you want to do. That's what it means. That's all it means. It's as simple as that. Because when you don't, you will remain in that condition. If you don't go to the dentist, the pain persists. And let me also caution and create awareness for those following me, right? Is that this is also why content does not work. Many people, the more content that is not providing clarity, direction, that is not helping you do the inner work. Listen, most people know what they ought to do, right? Branding, marketing, sales, this, that. You know it. But I'm telling you, if that is all you are learning right now, and you're not confronting yourself, and you're not speaking to yourself, and you're not doing inner work, you still will not take the action. And if you don't take action, you're not going to see the results. So the reason massive, we are living in a world where information is abundance. First we had Google, you have Bing, now you have ChatGPT. If what you are looking for is just pure form, raw information, it's everywhere. If information was the solution to success, everybody right now ought to be successful. By now, everybody in the world that has access to the internet ought to be achieving successfully. But I'm trying to tell you, this is one of the reasons knowledge, that kind of information does not work. It doesn't work because your own programming, your own inner emotion, your own belief system, your own confidence or lack of it, you as the ultimate machine for fulfillment of your dreams, you are the factor, you are the limiting factor or the growth factor in being able to use all this knowledge to achieve success. So the knowledge means nothing if you don't enable yourself, if you don't empower yourself, if you don't discipline yourself, if you don't do what you ought to be doing, if you don't say what you mean and mean what you say, if you don't develop communication skills, ChatGPT can tell you what to say, right? ChatGPT can tell you what to say, but if you don't have the confidence to say it, ChatGPT can list out a marketing campaign now and tell you this is how you build this, and it gives it to you. But performance, your own performance is based on your skill. And so if you haven't developed skill, you've not developed the confidence to perform. It's just pure form information. And this is why, so in my school, you find out that we invest heavily in mindset work, the deep inner work. Because when you do that deep inner work, and it is now supported with technical business knowledge, you will not, once you remove the inner barriers, you can now fight your battle. But if you are afraid to go to war and I'm training you how to shoot a gun, you won't show up to the battlefield. Well, the day is time, the day where they were saying let us go, you will not be there. Even though you know. Okay. Oh, I just got myself like, listen, if you are enlisted and you are afraid, they can train you on the technical. This is how you hold the weapon. And yes, you know how to use, but the day they call you, you'll be like, I'm asleep. That's what's happening. Life is calling us every day. Show up and do the work. But fear, inner limiting factors will not let people show up. And so I prioritize that. I tell my students, let's prioritize this mindset work. Let's develop the inner fortitude. Let's discipline ourselves. Let's build confidence. Let's have vision. Okay? Believe in yourself, on and on and on. And so you have to work on your heart, your emotions, because there's only some type of emotion that will help you show up every day. Right? Nobody wants to show up. If we talk about consistency, it allows you to build momentum. But have you even done one action? Talk less of consistency. Right? So I see Rumi says totally agree. Awesome. Chisholm, any thoughts? And others can also use the chat space. I see others joining. Feel free to use the chat space as well. Maybe I'll start wrapping up and I'll give you some tips as we're wrapping up today. Miss Chisholm, thoughts, reactions?
My reaction is just this: it's do the work, and everyone should really engage with themselves first, and build up that inner strength and belief. Once you have that, the rest is done, because you kind of would see and know that you really want is already completed, and then you go from, because it's a mindset thing. Like when you know that I already have this, and everything is a process towards getting that, it's much easier, as opposed to I don't know if I'm going to get it or not, and that's where the mindset work you mentioned comes into play. So once you have that within, everything else is completed and it's a done deal. It's just simply a process of working towards it, and that's where you need people who have gone the way that will show you and make it a lot easier. It's a lot easier, and that's why where Coach Toyin comes in, where you already know that someone has done the work, that you have proof and evidence of the work done, and you're like, okay, how did you do this? What did you do? It makes it a lot easier than you trying to figure it out on your own. Life is too short. And, we borrow from other people's experience.
Right. And thank you for that. And you are an adaptation, right? When we talk about who you are today, as humans, we adapt. And one of the things I put in the game plan, which is the first mindset program you would engage in before you do your branding at toyinumesiri.academy. Because if you brand without doing that work, you might also brand the wrong identity, your previous identity. So the game plan helps you start, crafting your right identity, and then you go into branding. It's better that way. And one of the things in that game plan is when I talked about activating the power of clarity, is that, and this is something that there's a PowerPoint, you can access it in my school, but let me just use my hands to visualize for those on video. There is your place of expression at the soul level, your heart. Okay. The conversations we are having at the soul level, your series of agreements, disagreements. This is who I am, right? This is what I want. This is what I don't want. Your soul always has a voice. Okay, you have expression within you, but we don't see it. I don't see it. Okay, now what we see is this version. Okay, so this is you. Bible, God will say, I look on the heart while men looks on outward appearance. And so, what you are saying within yourself versus what you are expressing is an adaptation, because in between who you are and what you're saying is your filter. And that filter is often influenced by culture, nurturing, nature, the nature you've taken on, the person you've become, right? Because you've now developed habits, behaviors, patterns, reasoning patterns, right? The culture, nurturing and culture has programmed your mind to think a certain way, to behave a certain way, to believe certain things. And so your programming, okay, is an adaptation, right? Because you have to survive culture, you have to also survive your family of origin, right? So depending on, some people are programmed to achieve success, some people are programmed to fail a little bit. When I say fail a little bit, it means, for example, let me give example so that people understand what I'm saying, or I don't want people to misunderstand me. If you are raised not to speak your truth, you will adapt to survive. If you are raised not to communicate or not to express yourself, not to be who you are at your art level, not to express freely your full person, to develop fully, so that what you are putting out there is aligned to your soul identity, so that your expression, if you mean yes, you say yes. If you mean no, you say no. But I'm telling you, some of you are raised in a society that is not going to accept you saying no. So when you mean no, and the society is saying your no is not acceptable, you adapt and you start saying yes, 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 yes. And it gives birth to a new identity when people start saying people pleaser. It's an adaptation to survive an environment that is not allowing you to say what you mean and mean what you say. And in order to survive and still get, good, to be in good standing, okay, you become a people pleaser. And if you don't arrive at a place in your life later to reverse all of that programming, you are stuck in that programming, because that's what you've been made to believe. Some people are also programmed to be self-sacrificial. They told you that is the Christian way, to be dying on the cross. Listen, that you must die so that others may live. Okay, you see, these are the things. If you want us to go there, some people told you, if you love Jesus, you must behave a certain way. And so you molded yourself to make them happy, because this is the true Christian way. Who told you that? Did you see Jesus when they told him his mother and brothers are looking for him, and he said, what? This is the assignment God gave me now. Let them, I'll see them later. You didn't see him say that. You didn't see him create boundaries. When his disciple says, let's go and eat, he said, no, this food is my own priority. You didn't see him say no. When Peter says this, you didn't see Jesus say, don't say that. You saw him assert himself. Because if you are not connected to your soul, you become a record player of those who have programmed you. You'll be repeating what they want you to repeat, not what your soul assignment is here to do. You become about their business, not the Father's business. You'll be denying Your assignment, making other people happy. And guess what? These people are not even thinking about you. They are using you to fulfill their own needs. That's another story entirely. I'm just giving you an example that at the soul level, if you don't mature yourself to defend the needs and the aspirations of your soul, and you are presenting an identity to the world, you are behaving the way you think the world would accept you. You are saying things that you think culture wants to hear of you. You are saying yes when you mean no. You are saying no when you mean yes. You are lying to your soul. And God will judge you by your soul, not your behavior. The world will judge you by your behavior, but God will continue to see and say, you are lying. That's why you say double-minded person. A double-minded person will not receive anything. You can't do this work in business if you are double-minded. You'll be afraid because now part of the fear is you want to build a business. You want to go out there. You have to market, you have to sell. But your false presentation, if you don't tear it down, and if you don't break it down, and if you don't disrupt what you've told the world you are, you actually have to die. That identity has to go away. And you now have to present to the world your true intentions. I want to make money. I want to sell. Here are my products. Here are my service. And so when you don't have the courage to say, listen, I'm about selling products and services, you now find people cannot market, they cannot sell because they are like, what will people say if I post this, if I say that? Because guess what? The expression, your sole assignment to build a business has to now override and disrupt everything you've been projecting to the world. That adaptation, that version of you, okay, has to now change because the entrepreneurial mindset is one of courage, right? You have to overcome the limitations of your previous programming. Because truly, that old programming is afraid. Is afraid of people, is afraid of the employer, you're afraid of your co-workers. So you can't type, you can't post on LinkedIn, because if you post on LinkedIn, you will say, what would my co-workers say? What will my boss say? If I put this out there, what would this do? All of those things has to die. Fear has to wash away. You have to come up with a strategy. Because as long as that programming of fear is a programming. The people who erected themselves as God in your life, okay, Minister Toyin just appeared in the house. Gideon, go to your father's house and tear down the gods. He did it at night. At least he still did it though. He still did it. Because there's a new identity, a one of warrior, public warrior, not private warrior. You know, Gideon was, for those who are Christians, I said Minister Tony just, for those, Gideon was privately warring. God said, you see, this private thing you're doing, I'm taking you public. I'm taking you public. And if I take you public, you will still be afraid of your father's idols. Go and break it. You first have to conquer those fears. Conquer those fears. Face them. Tear them down. They've erected walls of identity. The whole person you are. I'm the least of my father's house. I'm the least of this. I'm the least of that. Who am I? Oh, I have accents. Oh, I have this. Oh, I have that. Oh, I am this. Oh, this race. Oh, this. Oh, this, that. Oh, this. Guys. Oh my gosh. All of those things, they are there. And one by one, by one, by one, we have to see them, understand them, and then you have to expose them to fresh air and light. You have to shine light on them, because shadows, the day you bring light, illumination, education, enlightenment, they will disappear. Right? Darkness cannot comprehend light, and part of light is knowledge. Once you know and you become, those things will take their place. Shadows they are on ground. They are not real. You can't touch them. But they appear real because the eyes that is seeing them is an immature, uninformed eyes. And that's why the work we do on ourselves is to grow the parts of us that is smaller than it ought to be. The parts of us we've not invested in, the skills we've not developed, time management, self discipline, daily discipline, taking action, taking responsibility, showing up on behalf of what you want, not depending on other people to give you that life, but you and God going on this journey. It's a long, and this everything I just said doesn't happen overnight, but hopefully this session is just creating awareness. So I'll wrap up there. So thank you everyone that has joined. This is the work we are doing in the academy. It's very deep. It's deep work. We'll do the work and then we'll develop skill. And I've seen it happen over and over again. And even the recovery process for everybody is also different. The recovery process and the length of recovery. When I say recovery, recovering your identity, boldness to express. Listen, you are already expressing yourself at the soul level. The key is the world does not know who you really are. Your world doesn't really know your capacity, your strength. And in a way, many people are even afraid to show strength. Yes, can we go there? If your world right now, your community right now, see you in your fullest power that God has for you, some people are even afraid of that. They are afraid to show what God wants to do in and through them. Right? Because maybe that community prefers you to be weak. That community tolerates you when you are voiceless. And so you adapt to make community quiet and artificial peace, to create artificial peace. You don't rock the boat, you don't say anything. And so your dreams too has been silenced because these dreams will give voice. You have to give voice to your dreams. You have to speak about them. You are responsible. I say there's a book I wrote in my is available in my school, Marketing for Christians. When you are given a message, and that message, when you are given, meaning from a Christian standpoint, you believe God gave you an assignment, it's bigger than you. It's bigger than you. And so you have to show up to deliver that message. And many times, what you have to let go of are all the reasons why you don't want to show up. I'm showing up now. I've gone through my own process. See me? You think I don't want privacy like you? But if I'm not here now, would you be enjoying my own work? No. And so there are many people that ought to be enjoying you, all of us. But as long as you are hiding, you're not fighting the battles you ought to be fighting for yourself. Because when you fight your own battle, you give other people courage to fight theirs. So by you not doing your work, you don't know other people that you're stopping. So because I do my work every day, it's not one time done. You don't know the conversations I had to have with myself today to brace up and do this again. But because I'm here and you are here and those watching the replay, whatever you're getting out of this is because of the investments that I've made in myself. And I'm saying, make the same in you. Learn, mature, right? Grow the side of you that is so weak that it is speaking out of weakness instead of out of strength. Right? So anytime you hear yourself say certain things, look at yourself and say, that is a part of me I must mature. So anytime you say you don't have time, it's because you don't have time discipline. Because the same people that say they don't have time, where is your time? Like, so all of those voices, right? The fear, this is rooted in lack of knowledge, lack of exposure, lack of understanding. Because look around you, other people are still pushing, right? So part of the journey is see those things, know those things, and then come up with your own strategy for removing them. And the biggest strategy is knowledge, is education, is exposure, is support, is leadership, is guidance, is coaching, is mentorship. And that's what you invest in. And those people who still say they don't want to invest, those who still come up with another argument, oh, this, oh, that. I had somebody come in to Clubhouse some weeks ago. She was like, this. And I said, here's the link to my school. The resources you need are there. The classes you need to do the work. She said, oh, I can't bring myself down to read a book. I'm like, okay, if a doctor gives you, use this pill to solve, and you say you throw it away, it's a decision. That's also a decision. Not working on yourself is a decision. Not investing in yourself is a decision. Not to discipline yourself, it's a decision, and they have consequences. The same, the consequences, you remain where you are. Nothing changes if you don't change. The consequence of inaction, of not doing this work, is you remain. I see Kenneth saying, I like the point about information being everywhere. We have to work on ourselves and contextualize this information to be useful. Yes, actually, the information is largely not useful until you discipline yourself to learn how to use them. So if you don't learn how to use ChatGPT is useless. Do we agree? If you don't learn how to type and use Google, right? So when you think about education, right? When I, in my own word, I talk about wealth creation education, right? Is that those who invest in wealth creation education will enlighten themselves, will deepen their knowledge base, will develop skills, and will take action and will get results. And those who invest in scrolling through social media and stumbling, random things, random here, and they don't work on themselves, they don't discipline themselves, they don't focus, they don't cast a vision, they don't take action, they're not disciplined. Anxiety, fear, procrastination persists. So these things don't go away by themselves. They just actually, they compound. The reason I'm hosting this type of public, right, this session, is that they don't go away. They actually get worse, particularly where you see the world, where the world is going right now. Ha, guys, you know, ultimately, Bible was talking about the heart of men with fear, right? When external news starts bombarding you and you've not done this inner fortification, you've not strengthened. Jesus said, guard your heart, renew your mind. How do you renew your mind if you don't expose it to new information, new insights? Mind renewal is learning, letting, shedding off things that are not useful. Learning. Like, you know why this is important? Let me share this and then wrap up. This is so powerful. Your heart is for dreaming dreams. Your mind is for fulfilling those dreams. Your heart, if you discipline your heart, you're supposed to create space where you can dream, hope, right? Believe. So that when God is sending you a word, you receive it with joy, gladness. You say yes. And then the mind is supposed to come along. It is the programming that helps you fulfill and do the work. But when a mind has not been trained, okay, the mind will play tricks. It will tell you all the stories of why you cannot do what God is telling you to do. I can't do this. You don't have this. It's an untrained mind that eventually aborts your dreams. So if you hold a dream in your heart, quickly train your mind to cooperate with you. Because the old programming behaves a certain way. The employee programming always waits. It doesn't pursue. It will not help you win in business as an entrepreneur. So the day a new business idea comes to you, and if you do not nourish your mind, and if you do not retrain it, it will tell you the story it used to tell you as an employee. Money, this. Because an employee doesn't build network that is broad. It builds a narrow network within an industry. Now, as an entrepreneur, you need to know all kinds of people. But that mind will start telling you all the limitations. Oh, you can't do this. You don't know this. You don't know this. Where do you start from? Overwhelm. That mind will overwhelm you, right? You can't pour new wine in old wine skin, is another way I'm saying this. Develop a new wine skin, wine skin, a new way of being, a new identity that is in favor of where you're going, not where you're coming from. And so you're with your heart, you believe, you say yes. And you now need to use your mind, and program is the GPS of your life, is the factory that produces reality. So the mind must come along. It must come along to fulfill that dream. And the way you make it come along is to train it. And so when you don't train your mind, when you don't expose it, when you don't discipline it, it can run big havoc. It will be telling you so many things. And if you keep believing what it is telling you versus what is in your heart, eventually it overrides and wipes it clean. It wipes the slate clean, and then you go back praying again. And then God will give you another idea. And then you something happens again, and they say you leave the church and say, oh no, and then you come back again. So that's why people go on this persistent, always dreaming, always receiving, but never giving birth. Always believing, but never creating. Why? Because you are stuck. Because your mind is not trained to help you become. Listen, if you are not a doctor, if you've not trained your mind to perform surgery, the day you say, God says you see a dream, or you see yourself performing surgery, and you're like, oh, God wants me to be a doctor, you better bring your mind along. The way you bring your mind along is to train your mind how to do the work required to see the results you saw in your dreams. If God says you are a farmer and you don't learn agriculture, you're a business person, you're supposed to be a business owner, multimillionaire, you don't learn how to build a multi-million-dollar business, the mind must come along. And the way you take charge of your mind is to discipline it, train it to perform the work required to get the result. And this thing, you see it everywhere. You want to lose weight, you know the theory of losing weight, but your mind will play tricks on you until you discipline it to perform what it needs to perform. That's it, guys. Thank you so much. I know this is tough stuff. I know it's direct. So, Team Replay, do drop a comment, let me know. And then join us at toyinumesiri.academy as soon as you're ready to do this work, to begin seeing progress, immediate progress in your business life, your new business life if you're thinking of leaving. I also say you don't have to leave before you start learning. Right? Actually, a strategy is keep the job, pay your bills, but invest in learning so that you're more prepared. So when it is time for you to leave, you actually have done a lot of work before. It's another strategy. And so my school is available for those who want to learn, right, how to build this business, right? So the primary thing is you become a student. You have to learn. If you want to learn, then there's a space for you to learn. And so when we don't learn, it persists. Okay, Miss Chisholm, final words, parting words as I want to close out today. And thank you everybody that stayed on this. I know this is kind of, it's an unusual conversation. You know, most people out there would not go deeper like this, but I hope you found it useful and beneficial. Any questions, thoughts? Thank you.
Well, thank you so much, Coach Toyi. And really, I don't have much to add. You did a fantastic job. I was saying to myself prior that speak your truth, speak your truth, speak your truth, and just do the work. This is just what it takes. Do the work and trust yourself. I just need to trust myself and step out there and do what's really uncomfortable and not just stay within the comfort zone. That's what this work is.
What you just said. Yeah, what you just said. Let me give a little bit perspective. Maybe it will help. If you're trying to do something you've never done, also see the stages of maturing when a child is crawling, walking, and running. Many of us want to run, right? A child wants to run. You know, a child wants, it sees his parents walking and doing all those things. And a newborn child wants to do all those things as well. But we have to be gentle with ourselves, not to attempt to skip those processes. Because when people talk about failure, failure is you attempt it, but the feet is not strong enough. So part of this journey is when you put yourself in a place of people cheering you on. So you see that when a child is attempting to crawl, we're all excited. We're like, yes, you did it. Go, 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 go. We're not making the child feel like a failure because we acknowledge that this takes time. The day the child takes the first step, listen, pictures, camera, everybody's singing, posting, we are celebrating. That's what we ought to be doing for ourselves today. When somebody goes from employee to entrepreneur, we ought to be celebrating their every success. Like, good job. I saw your post. I saw, oh, good job. We ought to be encouraging ourselves, and hopefully your community is encouraging. That's what I try to do for my students and clients. Any form of success, any form of progress, listen, is welcomed and celebrated. Right? But if we don't start, if you don't start, you're not going to run. If you don't start with the most uncomfortable side of this work, you're not going to build the strength. You're not going to build the strength and the capacity to run fast, to even fly, to even evaporate, to even take off. So when you see a plane starts crawling, boom, boom, right? People are like, where is this plane going? Watch now, wait now. You're about to watch. Then it picks up speed. Before you know it, it picks up speed. That's when we start saying consistency. Before you know it, consistency gains momentum because you need force to take off to your highest dimension. But it starts with crawling. A little here, a little there, a little here, a little here. And then you pick up speed. You pick up speed when you pick up strength. You pick up speed when you pick up strength. Right? And the more speed, the more strength, because momentum now gives you more enablement to become a force in the world. Go and look at the equation of force. Many of the things we learned in school. Force, right? Mass, mass times, is it acceleration, physics, whatever. You become mass. Your mass grows. When your capacity expands and you take action, the action has greater impact because your force is increased. But if your own mass is limited, you just say, like, like the lion that just came out of the zoo. You are attempting to roar, no mass, no response. The world doesn't shift for you. But when you train and you start saying roar, roar, now the lion roars, the entire jungle will be like the lion has awakened. So awaken the lion or the lioness in you. But first, at least do meow. Make a sound. Do something. Do something. Do something. Just do something. Just post something. Just share something. Do it. Let's just express, attempt to express. If you've never done it before, it's painful, it's uncomfortable, it doesn't feel right. But that's where it starts from. That's where learning starts from. Meow. Oh, before you, okay, see my comedy. Oh my gosh. Oh, drama, right? I'm just trying to encourage you. And let's encourage ourselves. Your first attempt, if you've never done this thing, will be so. I remember, you see that I'm doing online, I'm doing I'm multicasting all over the place. I'm here on this. The very first one I did, guys, woo, painful. I remember somebody used to say, Toyin, we can't hear you. Your microphone. I went to get microphone on Amazon. Next thing, your lighting. Okay, now we have ring light. Yes. You remember the 10,000 hours? Have you done your 10,000 hours? Trust me, you do 10,000 hours, fear doesn't exist. Even on the 3,000th attempt, even on your 5th attempt, you will see fear will start disappearing. Fear is because you haven't done what you think you're supposed to do. Once you start doing it, listen, your self-confidence will go up. But I'm also acknowledging the first few attempts, you will not you will feel You will not, because you've seen, this is also what happens. You've seen other people flying. You are seeing planes fly, but you've never flown before. You are seeing people learn how to swim. They swim. Swimming is effortless, but you didn't learn how to swim. Listen, the first day you jump into that water, you say, it doesn't feel comfortable, right? But those who have been at it before you will demonstrate a certain type of competency that is foreign and alien to you. So when you jump into that water for the first time, you'll be afraid. But then they will calm you. The instructor will calm you. Say, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay. That's what I'm doing right now. I'm telling you, whatever you're feeling right now, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay. Calm down. Just learn the discipline, learn the strokes, learn how to breathe underwater. Some of the learning will be go down, go up, go down, go up. Another learning will be okay, strokes. Look at me giving lessons. I can't swim. Oh, anyway. My point is, break your learning process down, practice the basics, the fundamentals, and then put it all together. Perform, perform, perform. As a business instructor, this is what I tell my students. I can transfer knowledge, and I do transfer knowledge. But the reason I train is because you cannot transfer skill, you develop skills. And so anybody that is not ready to take action, even as little, no matter how little, excuse me, no matter how little this action is, no matter how small you think it is, that is your place of skill development. Action is your place of developing skill. No matter how much volume of content you've consumed on the world of internet, no matter how much you think you know in theory, the practice is in taking, no matter how small it is. Promise yourself every single day to do something that is aligned to the future you want to see. Don't procrastinate. Enroll, learn, discipline. Do something. Take an action now. Today is always the time to take action. You can't take action in tomorrow. You can't. That's why. That's why those who are afraid will say tomorrow. Tomorrow will come. You will say tomorrow again, because the time to take action is always now. It's always in the moment. So anybody that discounts this moment and tells me, "Oh, I'll do it later," your future, it doesn't happen. Your future, you delay your future. You want to go to California, and you say tomorrow. Tomorrow comes, you say tomorrow. You say tomorrow again. Will you ever arrive? No, you're not. California is at a distance to you. The way you get closer is to take steps. The way you get closer to seeing the future you want to see is to take action. So anybody that doesn't want action, no matter how baby it is, how small it is, I'm saying do it today, do it now. Don't let today pass before you do something that is in support of the future you want. It's a practice, it's a discipline, it's a mindset that will get rid of fear. And as long as you don't do that, nothing changes. And everything, we want things to change. You have to change. Behavior has to change. Identity has to be renewed. Knowledge has to be built. Skill has to be developed. This is what we talk about empowerment. When I train my clients and students, they become empowered. We equip, right? We equip you with the tools. But guess what? You have to learn how to use the tools. We equip you, workbooks, classes, mindset programs, branding, marketing, sales, series of programs, over 300 resources there. It's an equipping. We equip, I equip. Then I train you how to use those things. And then you have to use it. You have to use it. You have to use it. So many people take pride. Oh, I know this, I know that. Do you know? In fact, that's why I talk about the questionnaire. Are you a beginner, intermediate, or mastery? Because the only people that move away from amateur are the people who take massive amounts of action. So you can say you know A, B, C, D, but have you taken massive action? because massive action is the only way you achieve everything you want to achieve. So that's why I'm saying learn how to take action is the major differentiator in life. It changes everything. So anybody that you see as achieving any form of success in any dimension, listen, they are action takers. That actually is what divides the world into successful people and those who achieve less success is action. Not just any random action, the right type of action. Because you could say, oh, I'm taking action now. I want to learn how to fish, but you are putting you are doing the wrong things. So that's another thing. Some people are doing the wrong things and they're expecting to get the right result. No, no, no. That's why you need to invest in the right strategy. You need to invest in the right coach that will first show you what you need to do so that you can then do it. Some people are teaching you the wrong things right now, and your everything is upside down. You need to rewrite that stuff again, right? So also watch out for that. You can be taking action today. So I just want to cover that. You might be telling me, oh, I'm taking action. Are you taking the right action? You might tell me you want to go to California, but you went to go and sign up with a coach that will lead you to Texas. Now you are in Texas. Now you are stuck in Texas because you didn't do due diligence to do research on the types of lessons and guidance and coach that will help you do the inner work and also develop skill. That's why what I'm offering is a school, a full-grown school, adult education, professional development, sales, business skills. That's what I'm offering. My husband is a university professor. My late father was like, listen, I'm a business educator. I teach at business schools. So what did I do? I created my own. Last year, I did a project for United Nations, training entrepreneurs from 38 countries. So my solution, my offer to people who want to transform is school and Rome is a curriculum, because it's not one class, this, oh, take this little thing, take that little thing. How far will you go? You have a long journey to go to become successful. It took you 20 good years to become the perfect employee. How many years do you think it would take you to become a wealth creator, a wealth builder, an entrepreneur, a business owner? The rest of your life. But I'm saying lay the right foundation. My school helps you build the right foundation. So you rewrite all that old programming. You now build the right solid structure for the rest of your life. It's going to take the rest. Wealth building, wealth creation is a new discipline. It's a new profession. You have to invest in it. So many people don't transition. They don't build the right structure. 5 years later, they are still struggling. 6 years later, they are still here, there. They're trying to patchwork DIY this. I've seen it all. And that's why my own solution, my own offer, it took over a year to put this together. So join my membership. You won't regret it. You'll be empowered, trained for success, business success. God bless you all. I'm closing it out now. Listen, thank you so much. God bless.